Yes, Rod, not quite home yet, but back in Hamilton. Tiger Cats in their hometown for the first game since October 2012, looking for their first win against the new team on the block, the Ottawa REDBLACKS, here at Ron Joyce.
He's back. Henry Burris back to the city where he broke Cat records and led the Hamilton Tiger Cats to the Grey Cup Championship last year. This is start number 190 for Henry Burris. He returns as a REDBLACK. On the opposite sideline, Dan Lefevre is in his very first start in the Canadian Football League. This team has gone through 3 starting quarterbacks in this just their 4th game.
Ken Austin feels his team should have won 2 of the first 3 on the road. They did start 1-4 last year and won 10, so the message is stay the course and don't hit the panic button. On the other side, it'll be Rick Campbell, who got his first head coaching win last week, now looking for the REDBLACKS' first win on the road, and something he has stressed, a chance to move 4 points up on a divisional rival. Ticats won the toss, and they will receive the kickoff. And with the ball is Brandon Banks on the return, and Banks working his way across the 30-yard line. Dan Lefevre, as you mentioned, first CFL start, and for the 3rd consecutive game, a different starter for the Ticats.
Take a look at the guys he'll be working with. They got to get the football to C.J. Gable more often. Just 17 carries and 7 catches for the star tailback. And Andy Fantus returned to the lineup last week. Second half, he had all his catches, 7 of them.
Starters to watch brought to you by Napa Auto Parts, where custom advice comes standard. Lefevre to this wide side, and it'll be Sam Shagir with the straight arm, and finally tossed out by Seth Williams. Big opening play for the Cats into REDBLACK territory.
Good read by Dan Lefevre to get things started for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. The very first play out of the gate, something that Ken Austin will be watching closely, and the reason that Jeremiah Mazzoli is not starting this game is that decision making by the quarterback.
The 40.
10th catch of the season for Shagir. 24-yard pickup, and now a reverse, and it's Banks, turns the corner. Brandon Banks down the sidelines, and tightropes his way, still going, touchdown.
He did that tightrope walking act because he looked very close to that white stripe a couple of times. Got the corner from a nice block at the point of attack, and then used his speed to get around that corner and down the sideline.
John McGinnis is the headlines, or Justin McGinnis, and he took a long look here, and Banks somehow stayed in.
He did.
So 2 plays, an opening drive touchdown, the first opening possession points for the Ticats all season.
I got him locked in.
53-yard touchdown romp for Brandon Banks. Medlock with the extra point. It's been a wait to get back to Hamilton, but they've made the most of their return on the opening drive.
And it started with a nice throw out to Sam Shagir, and then on the reverse to Banks. Boy, he does a nice job of maintaining his balance down the sideline as he got the block on the kick out there from Brian Simmons. And then he gets the corner and away he goes. Also in on the blocking was Jeremy Lewis, newcomer at tackle. But great balance down the sideline for Banks.
First time the REDBLACKS have surrendered an opening possession touchdown this year. Banks had 3 carries, 34 yards coming in, and just topped that with a 53-yard touchdown run.
Tommy Condell, nice play calling out of the gate to get the Ottawa REDBLACKS defensively thinking. Because not only does he score off the reverse, but now he's got Mark Nelson over there on that sideline making adjustments, trying to figure out exactly how to keep guys wide and in contained, make sure they cover the edges. Good start for Dan Lefevre in his first ever start in the Canadian Football League.
So the Ticats with a 1-touchdown lead before the Red Blacks get their hands on the football. Ken Austin's crew, the lowest scoring team coming into this game, averaging under 14 points. There's Zach Colaros on the sidelines conferring with the head coach. There's Siobhan Walker, former Hamilton Ticat, back with DJ Harper. And the former Ticat theme will be prominent tonight. Medlock blocked the boot, and here is Walker. And Siobhan Walker finds a crease. And he will power his way up over the 40 to the 43. There is a flag on the far side of the field.
Looks like this return will be coming back. Reverse will start deep in his own end.
Illegal block, Ottawa. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Tom Valesi is the referee tonight. And it will back them up inside their 15.
Got that first win last week against the Toronto Argonauts in their home opener in Ottawa. Siobhan Walker, a big part of that. 349 total yards in 3 games. He is where the offense starts. Kier Johnson dropped one early in that game last week. A deep one that would have been a sure touchdown, but came back with a clutch catch to set up the winning field goal.
Red Blacks winners last week without a touchdown. Fake is to Walker. Everybody followed Siobhan Walker. And Henry Burris romps his way to the 35-yard line.
Well, he gets the corner. He just runs this little play action to Siobhan Walker with all those yards we showed you. He's going to get that play action here, and when he gets the corner, he's out and around. It looked like Eric Norwood just bit on Siobhan Walker big time. He bought that hook, line, sinker, got outside, and then hook slides in front of Craig Butler.
20 yards for Burris. That's his longest run of the season. Gives this Red Black offense a little breathing room. Stands in, safety blitz for the Cats, and the pass intended for Marcus Henry. Incomplete coverage provided by Brandon Stewart.
Defensively for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, some improvements in some key areas. Craig Butler moves to the safety spot, still looking for his first interception as a Ticat. Marcellus Bowman at linebacker is going to try and cover Siobhan Walker out of the backfield.
Foul, unnecessary roughness. Hamilton, number 27. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Delvin Breaux involved with Kier Johnson away from the play.
Well, and this is the matchup is why I put Delvin Breaux as a player to watch, because he and Kier Johnson. Kier Johnson's been the go-to receiver for Breaux. That's a little excessive.
I was going to say, Breaux's sending an early message that it's going to be a long night.
I love the aggression, but he got a little bit across the line.
First down. They'll swing it in. Here's Siobhan Walker. And Walker, big collision there, close to a first down, and Walker pops up after the hit. Craig Butler, the safety, is there.
It's going to be a little bit of an adjustment there for Craig Butler, because he's got to be a little more patient than he was with the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Butler in the middle of your screen, he's going to just come up and put a nice hit, but not until Siobhan Walker's picked up pretty much first down. I'll be second in inches here, but nice hit there as he steps up into him.
And second and short, and the plunge straight ahead. These are much closer confines to the field, but boy, could you hear the pop there.
Yeah.
Butler on Walker.
Yeah, we're right on top of it, but it was a solid hit, and there wasn't much room for Siobhan Walker to make a move either way. He was being wrapped up.
So there's Butler in the safety spot. He'll be focused in on 29 tonight. Henry Burris was telling us that he's had to try and keep Walker calm this week. He's anxious to make a statement here tonight. First down, Red Blacks. A punt, nobody home, and he'll just throw that away with pressure provided from Ted Laurent. 3 of the big 4 up front for Hamilton, still looking for their first sacks of the year.
Yeah, 3, including their 2 rush ends, and Eric Norwood and Brandon Boudreau are trying to get that first sack. Already played 3 games, and Laurent one of them as well, playing with a little sense of urgency on that one.
Ticats last in that department. 9th in the league, 5 sacks, and an early jump from Taylor Reed in his second game at middle linebacker.
SMU grad. Just amazing his production in college football. 400 tackles in
Offside.
52 games.
Hamilton, number 44. 5-yard penalty. It remains second down.
A little anxious on this play, but 400 tackles. You're looking at, what is that, about 8 tackles per game.
Quiet guy off the field. He's described as an angry middle linebacker once he gets on the field. An anxious linebacker there makes it 2nd and 5. Burris underneath. There's Pierre Johnson, a cutback, and what gives the first down inside the 40 as he ducked under the tackle of Emmanuel Davis.
Well, the speed from Kier Johnson is not just used by him on those deep routes that he will run throughout this game tonight. They can also be an advantage on crossing routes. Tough to follow and try and mark a guy all the way across the field when he gets that angle on you.
6 catches, 91 yards last week, and the big one was the 43-yarder to set up the winning field goal in the final minute. And TD Place Stadium, direct snap. And DJ Harper pounding down to the 31-yard line. Courtney Stephen from the corner linebacker spot with a pop.
And DJ Harper gets another one from Craig Butler, who stepped up as well from the safety spot. Watch how they both sort of arrive on DJ Harper together. Direct snap to him, and 28 steps up again.
So the 10th play of the drive. Hamilton was quick strike. Henry Burris has to like what he's putting together. Trying to extend it here, 2nd and 3. But a flag flies, and they didn't get the play off. And looked like REDBLACKS were also offside.
Time count violation. Ottawa, number 1. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
Box J boys showing their approval for that penalty that changes the play call, now 2nd and 8.
When it comes to this, trying to make the best of a tough situation here in Hamilton. But the field of it is the same dimensions.
Gets away, still looking for somebody, and he's got John Delahunt for the first down. Taylor Reed the tackle, but Burris bought enough time, and Delahunt, who had a catch last week in the victory in Ottawa, comes up with a big 2nd down conversion catch.
John Delahunt stays with the football, but Taylor Reed had a chance to play the ball. And this is a difference between a young guy in his 2nd start who just wants to be safe and make the tackle here, and a guy that would be a veteran player. A veteran player takes that football. He jumps it. He was in position to do it, and Taylor Reed just made a sure tackle, but not until Ottawa had the first down.
Hassan Azimi shaken up on that last play, and the defensive tackle making his way to the sidelines. And while he gets attention, we're going to step out. It's 7-0 Ticats. CFL on TSN is brought to you by Nissan. Innovation that excites. Good to be back in Hamilton. Looking forward to getting to Tim Hortons Stadium in the near future. And this guy was looking forward to getting back to Hamilton, but wearing red-black colors.
Didn't have a problem talking about that this week, did he?
Got something going. 1st and 10. Play action. Sets up and has the completion of Marcus Henry down around the 10. And this impressive opening drive continues for Ottawa.
Complementary routes here. 3 routes out on that side of the field for Henry Burris. He gets out on the roll, and Henry's one of them. Henry's running the out route. He's the intermediate, and you've got to really put this on the receiver or else it's a dangerous throw. You can see a lot of Ticats hovering in the area. It's about a 15-yard out, so it has to be on time and on the money, and it was from Henry Burris.
16 for number 16, Marcus Henry. Pair of catches last week. So it's first and goal.
2 tight ends, 55 checked in.
Double tight end formation, 3 receivers on the wide side, into the corner. Can't bring it down, up against Delvin Breaux.
Well, people may not realize the season that Henry Burris had last year in Hamilton. It was a record-breaking season, over 5,000 yards passing, 43 touchdowns in the last 2 seasons, single-season team records. When you take a look at 2012, 2013 here in Hamilton together, of course, led the Ticats to the Grey Cup. Didn't win it, but got them there.
Only 1 touchdown for Ottawa since they scored in their first 3 possessions on opening night. And that one is caught. It's a touchdown. Matt Carter, one of the former Ticats, with the catch and the touchdown for the REDBLACKS.
This catch by Matt Carter is all about concentration. It's all about maintaining concentration. It looked like Courtney Stephen just broke downhill and took a shot at the interception. If he gets it, it's a foot race between he and Henry Burris, but the concentration from Carter, he fights off that coverage, comes up with a catch and dives in the end zone.
Shows you the strong arm of Burris. Could have been a pick 6. Instead, it caps a 14-play, 96-yard touchdown drive. 6 minutes and 25 seconds to set it up for Matt Carter to hit pay dirt.
Henry Burris is going to strong arm this play. Here's the route. It's a slant route from Matt Carter, but I can show you. Look how far Carter is in. He's on the numbers, and Courtney Stephen way inside those numbers. He's taking away the inside slant route. He reads it. He jumps it. He's in position for the interception, but the strong arm of Henry Burris throws it right through the defender.
3rd touchdown pass of the year for Burris. And the first time this season, both teams have scored touchdowns on their opening drives. Banks, the return, wrapped up, and he'll get tossed down by John Delahunt.
Good concentration, because when Courtney Stephen flashes in front of Carter there, a lot of times that's what will be the distraction that'll take your eyes off the ball for a split second, and then you lose it when it gets through there, but not on that play. Carter had that concentration. Scores his first major.
That's a 40.
Dan Lefevre and the Ticats start at their 29. 6 receivers out. And snap is dropped, incomplete, intended for Kerry Koch.
Kerry Koch playing for Greg Ellingson, who was a late scratch. He'll play that position. He has the flu, so the bulk of the work is going to go that direction. Take a look at this Hamilton defense. TJ Hill's on a roll over the last couple of games, leads the team in tackles. Take a look at the middle. Travis Brown, according to the coach, just gets better every single game out, and so does Jarrell Gavins, who had that up and down first game, but 2 young players that are finding their way in the CFL, and they expect bigger things.
Touchdown against that defense, the first in 18 possessions, 2nd and 10. Lefevre does this well, and Lefevre has a first down and a lot more across midfield, and he'll be dropped down inside the 50-yard line. Well, the Lefevre package last year was basically a running attack, and we see a glimpse of it here.
Was it ever? 54 carries, nice 6-yard average for Lefevre last year in that package where he ran a ton. He just sees that opening and then takes off. Now, he kind of takes the rules and uses them to his advantage there, because he pretends or almost looks like he's going to go down and hook slide and then doesn't. Takes another 4 or 5 steps.
34-yard run. Fraser on the safety blitz, but it's pitched out, and there's C.J. Gable. And Gable running away from defenders down the sidelines, and is he in? Yes! Touchdown, C.J. Gable.
Let's go now. fans, there was a lot of concern about a young offensive line. All the 4 of the 5 starters out of the lineup due to injury, but they played well to start this game, including this run by C.J. Gable. Gets the corner again. Brandon Lang comes way down inside on Dan Lefebvre. After a big run from Lefebvre, he goes to the quarterback and leaves the tailback off the edge, and Gable is gone.
Came into the game number 18 among rushers in the league, only 57 yards, but he just ripped off a 47-yard touchdown run. 3 possessions, 3 touchdowns. Maybe the offense is back in the CFL. 14-7 Tiger Cats.
C.J. Gable's going to run this sweep. Now watch here as you're going to see the only guy that's really going to try and make that tackle or has the position to is Jasper Simmons. Lewis is going to come out and get him. That's Jeremy Lewis, a rookie at right tackle. Watch 57 get up on him, just chips him enough. So by the time he regroups, Gable's ready to make a move on the inside. Then he gets the sideline and uses his tremendous speed.
Longest run for Gable on the year prior to that was 13 yards. 3 plays. And another touchdown, 3 plays, 53 yards. And the return up to the 40-yard line.
Jeremy Lewis, rookie. Landon Rice at left guard, rookie.
Back home.
Jake Olson out of Central Michigan at left tackle, rookie. But those young offensive linemen are getting it done early in this game.
So 3 plays, 81 yards, the length of the drive, an incomplete pass, the Lefebvre run. Gable hits pay dirt, and we've got an injured Ottawa Red Black. And it looks like Justin Phillips, the veteran 8-year man, getting attention, so we will step out. Well, one of the veteran pillars of this young Red Blacks team, Justin Phillips, an 8-year man, former Calgary Stampeder, and we're afraid we'll only show this once, but you can tell that this is a tough injury.
Yeah, this is the bad one. You get rolled on in a special team. Justin Phillips, that left leg gets rolled on, and they're bringing out the cart, make sure they stabilize it. Voted a captain this year.
Special teams captain.
It's a tremendous honor, too, because that's voted on by your teammates. And Justin Phillips in his 8th season in the CFL. Captains are the head coach relies on those captains to let them know if there's any issues with the men in the room. And it's bigger than just taking coin tosses and things like that. And you're going to have to regroup without their captain on special teams.
Injuries part of the game, but it's a part that the Red Blacks have been able to avoid for the most part until this. In fact, they have 18 of 24 starters have played in each of the games. Contrast that with Hamilton, just 5 men are now starting for the 4th consecutive week. And we talked to the coach earlier today, Rick Campbell, about that. He said he wanted consistency, but he was also fortunate that they had not been hit with injuries.
Yeah, I mentioned that, we've been lucky, and they're gonna, you know that injuries happen in this game, but he said we've been lucky so far. But his belief is that with this young nucleus trying to come together, this expansion team that is trying to, find out exactly who they are, what their personality is. He said he wants to keep that continuity in the lineup as much as possible. He said he's got some good football players that could be starting that aren't for that reason, that are on practice rosters and not dressed.
And was also counting on the leadership of guys like Justin Phillips, 8th year, and this is the 3rd of 4 games for the Red Blacks where they have more experience than their opponents. And Phillips, one of those veteran guys who have been able to help lead this expansion team early on, while they continue to work on moving Justin. We'll take another timeout. Veteran of 105 games in the Canadian Football League, a graduate of Laurier. You hear the fans saluting as they very carefully try and get Justin Phillips on the stretcher. And right onto the cart. Cruel game. Nobody relished the victory and the moment in history last week in Ottawa more than a veteran like Justin Phillips, and here he is a week later.
Well, it can happen quickly. We hope a speedy recovery for Justin, and see all his teammates come out and encourage him as well. And this is part of the difficult part for the guys on the field now, is trying to snap out of the thought of, you know, for whether it's the Hamilton Tiger Cats, they're also concerned. No one wants to see anyone go down in the opponent, and so now you got to get your mind back into that full speed football mode again, which is difficult. Boy, the Ticats have gone through their fair share of injuries too this year early in the season. I mentioned their O-line going down. Didn't have Andy Fantus for the first couple of games. Going through their backup quarterbacks. Was Zach Kalaris out.
Of course, we're on the McMaster campus. The University Hospital is close by.
He gives a thumbs up as he drives by there.
And I'm sure there's family here.
Yeah.
Justin's mom, very passionate fan.
Son will be okay. He'll be back.
And we wish him well. First down. Ottawa starting at their 39. 3 possessions in the game. 3 touchdowns. And off to Walker, left side. And Siobhan Walker crashing to the 44.
Talked to Henry Burris about last week's win, and that in the second half, Siobhan Walker sort of disappeared for a bit in the third quarter and into the fourth quarter, and then when they went on that long drive, the winning drive, set up the winning field goal, Walker was involved again, and Burris was quick to say, oh, believe me, we'll be going to Siobhan Walker a ton tonight.
Fifth in the league in rushing, coming into the game, 214 yards, 5 on that carry, 2nd and 5. Preston is up in the line, he blitzes, and the pass almost intercepted, intended for Carter, and Emmanuel Davis had a shot at the football.
Pressure was the problem for Henry Burris. He had to throw around Ted Laurent. Ted Laurent is 6'1" and 300 pounds. I mean, that's like throwing around a bus. You have to try and get it out there. Watch. It's number 97 will end up in the face of Henry Burris here. He gets up the field, and he's right there, along with Frederick Plessius.
For the first punt of the game. Maher. Brandon Banks fields this on the run back at the 17-yard line. And does not reach the 25 on the return. 49-yard punt and 6 for Banks.
I mentioned Andy Fantus, the Hamilton Tiger Cats, missed the first 2 games of the season and
Illegal block.
came back last
Hamilton
week.
number 9. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Came back last week. It took him a half to settle in, and in that second half started showing us a little bit of what Andy Fantus has been throughout his career. And I started looking at the numbers. He's had some bad luck when it comes to injuries. 7 catches in the second half for him last week against Calgary. Had he not been injured as much as he has throughout his career, he would have a whole bunch of 1,000-yard seasons. 6 of 8, as a matter of fact.
Penalty was on Brandon Stewart, so Ticats started at their 9, and the Beaver steps up again, this time tripped up just beyond the line of scrimmage. Jasper Simmons got him around the ankles.
Now, I know people will say, well, injuries are part of the game, and that's part of it, and you can't project, but he's only one time, Andy Fantus, that was back in 2010, played all 18 games, had over 1,300 yards that year. And if you project his numbers, had he played 18 games in all of his seasons, there's only 2 of the 8 for Andy Fantus that would have been under 1,000. One his first year when he was trying to work into the league.
2nd and 6, the Beaver gonna air it out, was looking for Gable and nearly intercepted.
Thanks. Like Dan Lefebvre threw that away. I mean, that was double coverage. And Ken Austin went over. He's got Gable in the backfield. He's going to release out there, and he's the guy who runs the corner route. But he runs into double coverage and is not in the matchup that the Hamilton Ticats expected.
Antoine Pruneau, closest man to it. So the REDBLACKS with their first stop of the game, and they're going to get good field position up around midfield as the returner Tim Maypray making his first start as a member of the REDBLACKS. Let's check in with Matt Chinetti on the sidelines.
Guys, Henry Burris is back, but so is Siobhan Walker. Remember, he was the starting running back for the Ticats a couple of years ago. Now, what happened last year caused a lot of frustration because C.J. Gable actually took the starting job, and it appeared that Siobhan was actually really frustrated. But when I asked Rick Campbell yesterday, he said the best, the most devoted, and the strongest worker on this team right now is Siobhan Walker. And Henry Burris said he has committed himself to the playbook, understood what happened last year, has put that frustration behind him. And this week, Burris said, I've just had to calm him down so that when all that emotion, he'll be ready to explode at the right time. Guys?
Well, he has been explosive so far this season.
Oh, is he ever? He's got that breakaway speed. He's one of those explosive players that you give him the edge and he can kick it into another gear and outrun angles, tackling angles from defensive backs that are supposed to be the fastest guys on the field. Well, unless you talk to receivers, they'll say they're the fastest guys.
I think a lot of people think he has a chance of being the fastest in the league.
Absolutely.
65-yard touchdown run against Edmonton, 2nd and short. It is Walker straight ahead. Met the wall and got driven back that time. Among the tacklers meeting him was Eric Harris. See where forward progress is given. And to get to the Hamilton 47.
Yeah, very close. Burris right down there taking a look, make sure. And they will have to measure this. It looks like it's inside a yard.
It's going to be just about the length of a football short.
Take a look at the 2 backs and what they've done up to this year, or this year including this game, and you can see the more opportunity for Siobhan Walker in a big way. Just 18 carries for C.J. Gable. Now his 18th, went for a touchdown.
That improved the stats.
Yeah, that improved him big time, and his average, because his average before that run was below 4, 3.8.
The 3rd and inches as the big boys hunker down. Burris is able to get the first down in behind Jamichael Dean, the right guard. John Gott, of course, at center. And That offensive line relatively stand pat in the first 4 weeks, with the one exception. Jarrell McCullough at left tackle gets his second straight start for Nate Menken.
Well, Rick Campbell saying that Menken or McCullough could be starting, but they want, again, for the continuity reasons, leave the roster as intact as possible from week to week.
Boy, would the Ticats ever like to say that, considering their offensive line. First down, and the pitch to Walker was talking here on the sideline. And a tackle by the middle linebacker Taylor Reed, but good first down production for Siobhan Walker.
Well, that was just pull the O-line and get them out in front, and when you get them out in front, you got a chance. That front five right there, they're going to all go together. You talked about the continuity. Let me show you how that works. Look how they all move together.
And he had 9.5 yards, a plunge for the first down. And we've got an injured Ticat well away from the line of scrimmage. That's Craig Butler, who was shaken up.
I mentioned that he'd have to become more patient from the safety position. Played linebacker for Saskatchewan, had 11 interceptions. He was a big play guy. I mean, he was all over the field. 135 tackles, 4 sacks for Craig Butler.
One of the biggest free agent signings of the offseason.
You get back to that safety spot. Now it's about being patient. You can make your plays for sure, but there's about 3, 4, maybe 5 opportunities a game to make the big play. Looks like he may have rolled an ankle a little bit. But you have to be there in the right position for your halfbacks and your short side corner. Occasionally, of course, safeties will come down and blitz. That's a favorite, by the way, for the safety fraternity. Get a chance to go after the quarterback rather than stay back and sort of try and read him from that deep middle position.
Okay, two tight ends.
Comes in to replace Butler, at least for 3 plays. REDBLACKS moving on the late stages of this first quarter as Matt Carter gets wrestled down by Courtney Stephen, which has been a matchup ongoing in this opening quarter play.
Yeah, it looks like the Hamilton Tiger Cats are trying to take away more of the middle of the field and leave the wideouts open, basically daring Henry Burris to go ahead and use Matt Carter a lot more.
Carter with the REDBLACKS touchdown and a catch and 6 here, setting up second and 4 on the final play of this first quarter. And the pitch to Walker once again. Cuts back into the traffic, and Frederick Plessius there to help out on the stop with Brian Bulkey.
He didn't get there.
And he will be short. A decision for Rick Campbell. We're through 15 minutes of football here at McMaster Ron Joyce Stadium. And the Ticats with a touchdown lead after a couple of big major scores. Well, here are the numbers after 15 minutes. Offense back in vogue here.
Saw some scores. I'm looking at the bottom there, that time of possession advantage for the REDBLACKS. That could come back and hurt Hamilton later in this game, deep in the fourth quarter, if the trend continues. Defense for the Ticats will start to wear down a little bit.
Rick Campbell was looking for a more efficient offense. He got it on their opening drive, 14 plays, but it was quick strike for Hamilton. A 2-play touchdown drive, a 3-play touchdown drive, and the defenses will have to tighten up.
You know, Dan Lefevre in his first start looks very comfortable, and a guy who's got a lot of reps, but in those reps it was always sort of that running type of offense that he was asked to execute here in Hamilton. Now he's got to read the defense. He's got to throw the football. I think he looks pretty comfortable.
So we start the second quarter, 3rd and 1 for the REDBLACKS, trying to keep the drive alive, and Burris a slight bobble before moving behind left guard Matt Albright this time. And it looks like he's got enough for the first down.
One of the few quarterbacks that stays in for short yardage. Henry Burris is not a young man when it comes to football years, and but he is so strong.
Just a little double clutch of the football. John Gott helping plow enough room to keep the drive alive. Goes back to pass and now steps up. He'll go. Almost intercepted. And a little surprised that he didn't take off, as there was a lot of open field in front of number 1.
Yeah, I am too, and it's back to that matchup of Matt Carter on Courtney Stephen. That's the second time that Stephen has jumped a route, been in perfect position, and not come up with the interception. He's got to stay confident, not back out just because he's missed a couple, because he's been in great position. I thought Burroughs was going to run as well. He decided not to, but look at the inside position by Stephen. Just drops another one.
10th play of the drive. It's 2nd and 10. Flag down. Burroughs. Catch by Marcus Henry. Quick close there from Brandon Stewart. And we'll check the flag. Looks like Hamilton offside.
Marcus Henry was short. So
Offside. Hamilton, number 93. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 2nd down.
he was well short, so they'll certainly take the penalty and repeat 2nd down here.
Defensive tackle Terrence Moore.
That's the ones that drive a head coach crazy, because it keeps the defense on the field. They're lining up for a field goal, Ottawa is, if not for the penalty.
Capitalizes at 2nd and 5. Bunch formation to the wide side. Burroughs was looking there. Now over the middle, touchdown. Marcus Henry.
Well, protection up front, excellent for Burroughs. They gave him a passing lane. He knew exactly where he wanted to go. Marcus Henry on that layered post route right across the middle, and watch the lane open up so Burroughs can step up into it and has a perfect throwing lane.
So Henry, his first red-black touchdown. Matt Carter had his first. And it's an 11-play, 57-yard touchdown drive.
Hey, Max, good shit, baby. Hey, Max, I ain't surprised. That's what you do. That's what you do.
Maher, the extra point. Tied at 14 early 2nd quarter here at Ron Joy Stadium on the campus of McMaster University. Doubleheader action tonight. The CFL on TSN continues immediately following this game. It'll be the Argonauts at Mosaic against the Rough Riders. Watch it on TSN or tsn.ca. TSN Go. These two teams met in Toronto. It was a big win for Ricky Ray. We'll see if John Chick and the Rough Riders have a response tonight.
Marcus Henry and Henry Burroughs just took advantage of the injury. Hamilton Tiger Cats secondary to Craig Butler. Was not in on that series.
This is Moses Madu. And Madu is still going across the 35. Flags fly. His brother was actually in the Red Blacks camp. And a cut after the preseason action. Moses staying with the Tiger Cats, a former Nebraska Cornhusker. And another penalty against the Ticats on a return.
Block. Hamilton during the return. 10-yard penalty. 1st down.
Let's go back to that touchdown, show you what I mean about taking advantage of Craig Butler out of the lineup. Neil King is in there. He's a 2nd-year player, not as much experience. There he is right there. Watch how wide he gets here to help over the top. He doesn't have to do that, but he goes on the look of Henry Burroughs. Now hold it there. Here comes Marcus Henry. He's the most dangerous, and he's so wide now, he can't recover.
Dan Lefevre, play action, fake to Gable, and he takes off. There is a flag down as he runs out around the Ottawa bench. Over 12,000 yards passing and over 2,500 yards rushing for Lefevre. at Central Michigan.
Illegal contact. Ottawa number 21. 10-yard penalty. First down.
That's the strong side linebacker TJ Hill. And it's a first down for the Ticats at their 30.
Mentioned off the top that TJ Hill's led the team in tackles last couple of weeks, has 12 in the last 2 weeks. That's getting around the football. Had a couple of sacks, and it's a pretty nice stat line.
First and 10, and it's Lefebvre running the football once again. And he'll hit the turf at the 40, close to another first down. Prior to this game, the Hamilton Ticats on first down, 75% pass, 25% run. It's been different here so far tonight.
Well, but it's the running of Dan Lefebvre, and with Kent Austin, he wants to see Lefebvre read the defense, throw the ball where he needs to throw it to the right person in that read. And believe me, a guy like Kent Austin, who played the position, understands where that is and will hold his quarterbacks accountable. Dan Lefebvre can't run like that all game long. He won't last the game if he does.
Up for a first down. Takes to Gable. Here comes the heat. Javon Johnson on the blitz. Gets to the quarterback.
A little help from Chris McCoy there. Javon Johnson coming in, and it was a fast break. That young offensive line didn't know what hit him on this one. It just started to collapse immediately. Dan Lefebvre really had no chance.
First sack of the season for Johnson.
Just delayed blitz, really. His man blocked, so he went after it.
18th sack surrendered by Hamilton. That's the highest in the league. Second and long, and the Canes can't hold on. Flag in the backfield. And it's going to be a holding call against the Ticats that will be declined.
Holding, hands to the face. Hamilton number 56. That penalty will be declined. Third down.
That's Jeremy Lewis. They got off to a good start.
It's holding, hands to the face.
First couple of series for this young offensive line, but as the game continues on, now Ottawa's defense will run more stunts, more blitzes. They sent Javon Johnson on the last one and a tight end, so now they're going to make these young guys start to think a little bit more. And if you're thinking on the field, you're behind a step and a half.
So Mark Nelson starting to dial it up as Medlock with the kick. Here's the former Alouette, Tim Maypray. And Maypray is contained at about the 36. It's a 46-yard punt. 7 on the return. Siobhan Walker, the former Ticat, hoping to make a big impression against his former team in Hamilton tonight. Now opponents for the previous 2 years, they were on the same team. Henry Burris leading the Canadian Football League over 2 years with Hamilton. Over 10,000 passing yards in those 2 seasons.
It's sort of the way it ended. There's a difference of opinion between the left side of your screen and the right side on the way it ended.
Now, one of the years for Burris was with George Cortez. Last year with Austin. Flag down, pass complete. Big hit there on Marcus Henry delivered. And the hit from Marcellus Bowman, the weak side linebacker.
I don't know if it's just us being this much closer to the field or these guys are just turning it up a notch.
You're feeling it, aren't you?
I am feeling it. I mean, the press box rumbles here. I'll tell you what, Jock Climby talked about it before the game started, saying that, you know, the dimensions of the field are the same. 65 wide, 110 long, and they're going to play with great intensity no matter where they're playing. You've heard coaches many times say, let's go play these guys out in the back pasture somewhere.
Offside, Hamilton number 93. That penalty is declined. Major foul, unnecessary roughness, Hamilton. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Well, we're not getting numbers from Tom Valesi. We presume it's on the hit from Bowman.
There was no number here, but I'm not sure. Well, it was high. other than he has the football. And looks like he's sort of on his way down. That's a tough one there because the receiver's got the ball. He's running with the football on his way, sort of leaning into it. Up to avoid a headshot if that's what it was.
25 yards on the gain and look for the corner route, and Pierre Johnson unable to reach that.
They had him. By the way, Craig Butler has now returned after that touchdown throw from Burris to Marcus Henry, where Neil King had got a little too deep and a little too wide to help out. Butler has got taped up and has come back in. He got over there and helped out on Pierre Johnson on that deep throw.
So it's 2nd and 10, Ottawa. Hamilton 48-yard line. Past 5 minutes of the second quarter with the game tied. Here comes the pressure. Burris hurried the throw and it drops incomplete. Ted Laurent turned it up. Brandon Boudreau was on the rush as well.
Big hit by Brandon Boudreau here. He starts out, runs this little stunt. It's a little X stunt here where he's going to come in this way. And it's a little change with the inside tackle, Ted Laurent. He just little cross there, comes free up the middle and puts a pretty good hit on Henry Burris.
A little surprising to see Boudreau without a sack this year after 7 last season. Maher is going to throw back, and they've got something. Patrick LeBlanc wide open, and inside the 25-yard line, Neil King takes him out. Well, we've seen a little bit of this already this year, and another one from the Red Black bag of tricks.
Brett Maher can throw the football too. He rolls to his right, throws backside to tight end Patrick LeBlanc. He's just going to take this snap this way about 3 or 4 steps, like he's going to either run or kick on the run, and then flips his hips around, turns it back, and throws it to LeBlanc. First down.
Last week, Maher ran for first down out of punt formation.
He's look at Maher just. That's a little bit nervous, but he delivered a strike.
Big play, 25 yards. Fresh set of downs for the Red Blacks. Burris has enough time, and now will pull it down. And he'll get dropped by the safety, Craig Butler. Around the 20-yard line.
Well, Henry Burris has played well all season for the Red Blacks, but you could see that just that little bit of extra incentive in this one tonight. He sure would love to try and make a point to his old coach that they made the wrong decision.
He's run 6 times, 28 yards, sets up 2nd and 7. And there's Walker over the backfield. Siobhan Walker is bounced out at around the 2. But it'll be 1st and goal, Red Blacks.
How many times, Chris, have we seen young quarterbacks get a play like this and throw the ball too hard to the tailback? Just try to put a lot of heat on it, and it usually goes right through their hands. Watch the touch that Burris puts on this throw. Just nice little touch so he can catch that, turn the corner, and then do what he does as Siobhan Walker uses speed. But it was a nice touch on the ball, gave him that opportunity. He didn't have to fight it and catch it. He could catch it and turn and run quickly.
They've been impressive on offense here tonight against a Hamilton defense that has not been the problem in their 0-3 start. 1st and goal. It'll be Walker. Little sidestep, spin, and nothing there.
Boy, anytime down on the goal line you start to dance, it's over. You have to hit the hole or bounce outside immediately. If there's any hesitation, it's got to be a hesitation moving forward. Siobhan Walker started to dance to look for a hole, and down on the goal line there's just too many Hamilton Tiger Cat defenders flying around. I mean, they're all going to be up, including safety Craig Butler. He can't dance around.
So 2nd and goal. Burris rolling into the corner, knocked down. Delvin Breaux working against Pierre Johnson. And a stop for the Ticats.
A little hand fighting going on in the corner there, which it's good that they let go. Delvin Breaux let go of Pierre Johnson at the right time and didn't let him get that throw behind. The shutdown corner matched up on Pierre Johnson, and Pierre has been very quiet in this game. Just one catch for Kier Johnson in that matchup. It's been 2-7 against 10.
And now we're going to get a challenge. Rick Campbell is going to challenge whether or not there was pass interference on that play in the end zone. Seems to be where we're getting most of the challenges.
And that's where you would use it. That's exactly.
Ottawa's challenging that there was defensive pass interference on the play. We'll review the play.
I believe we've had 8 or 9 of these challenges now this year, and 2 of them have been overturned. That were no calls on the field, and those no calls were overturned. Both were in the end zone. Both turned into scoring plays the next play for the offensive team. Hand fighting, and due to the restrictions we have here at McMaster, that is really the only. Well,
this might be a better one. A little late, but
we'll pick it up a little later. You see how both were hand fighting going down the sideline like that, and then Delvin Breaux drops it and reaches with his hand. That left hand was not on Kier Johnson. I'll be really surprised if this is overturned.
And Rick Campbell will argue it's a throw behind play and his progress back to the football impeded.
After review, there isn't sufficient evidence to rule pass interference. The ruling on the field stands.
Yeah, you know, I think that's the right call, and here's why. Because you're right, Chris. If Kier Johnson tries to fight back and Breaux doesn't let him get back there by holding his jersey or his shoulder pad, so both players had their hands out and hand fighting, and then he let it go, dropped it, and knocked it down.
So they send out Maher, who helped extend the drive to get it into field goal range with his pass, and now will kick Ottawa into the lead. First Red Black lead of the night with 6:36 to go. First half in Hamilton. A week ago in Calgary, the Ticats in a position to tie the game, but a bobble from the holder, Luke Tasker. Medlock can't get the kick away, and it ends up being a 3-point Calgary victory. With more, let's go back to Matt Chinetti.
Guys, Justin Medlock did not blame Luke Tasker for that botched hold there, but this week during the Ticats day off, they came in and really discussed what Medlock likes in particular, the details, how to hold the ball. He doesn't like press down on the top or with a finger. He likes it kind of held like the top of a wheel and just turned ever so slightly. The one thing Medlock went ahead and said is, listen, it takes about 200 snaps for holder and kicker to kind of get on the same page, and Glenn, you can appreciate this because you were involved in one of the greatest kicks in Canadian Football League history.
Yeah, I remember it.
Procedure, Hamilton number 59. 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
And I've told this story to my partner Chris here many times. But I had a quick deja vu when I saw Tasker bobble the ball. In fact, the same place a couple of years ago, Andy Fantus had that same opportunity in 2012, again, to win the game late against Calgary in the snow, and it fell off the tee.
Simmons was the offensive lineman, called for procedure. It was 1st and 15, and there's Lefebvre. And you also are familiar with the fact that most kickers are pretty finicky.
Yeah, absolutely, and they'll do their little walk off and exactly pace out exactly where they want to go. Although when I was holding for Dave Ridgway, I often said, if you do that, I'm up and out of here. Just go stand there and kick this thing. But the relationship between the kicker and holder is important. That kicker has got to trust the ball's going to be down inside of 2 seconds from the time of snap.
2nd and 9. Lefebvre finds Bakari Grant, the sidestep from Grant, and he'll cross the 45 and have a first down for Hamilton.
That's the type of play that Ken Austin wants to see from Dan Lefebvre. One where he can pick his hole in the zone defense, throw it to the right read, and build some confidence with his coach. Keep him in there that he is seeing the field and not just looking at one receiver, and if it's not there, taking off and running. But you can see that Tasker on the corner, Grant underneath, dropped it underneath in that curl.
In action in 2 previous games this year, Lefebvre was 77.3%. First down here, flush from the pocket. Sholigan couldn't reach him, but Jasper Simmons will cut him down. Tonight, Lefevre 3 of 6 for 87 yards.
Hasn't really taken a shot down the field. Now, I'm not sure that he's had enough time to do that. That has to work together. Need an extra steamboat to get it down the field, but needs to take a shot deep pretty soon, or this Red Black secondary is going to keep crawling closer to the receivers.
Remember, he was number 3 coming out of camp. Third starter in as many weeks for Hamilton. Finally getting first-team reps and gets the football to Luke Tasker as he caught that one over TJ Hill at midfield.
It's going to be decision time for Kent Austin. It looks like they're going to be about a yard.
Maybe a yard and a half. Had to get beyond the Ottawa 54-yard line, so a decision for the coach, and he'll get a little extra time to make the decision as they'll measure right in front of the Hamilton bench.
Conversation with Kent Austin before the game. That's a long yard right there about his choice to start Dan Lefevre in his first start. Jeremiah Mazzoli got the start last week, but he just, ball security was a bit of an issue, and reading the defense, going to the spot, the receiver that's supposed to get the ball in a play. So he's not giving up on Mazzoli by any stretch of the imagination, but said that, you know, Dan Lefevre maybe just a little further along when it came to throwing it to the right guy. And as I mentioned earlier, Ken Austin will keep his quarterbacks accountable when it comes to where they should be throwing the football.
So 3rd and a yard. And Lefevre with a lunge, and he'll have the first down.
That's risky.
Yes.
Risky in short yardage to leave your feet like that, to jump and try and go up over the top, because if you get caught in midair, you get turned away, you got no leverage, no push.
Or get the ball punched out.
Yeah. So you see Lefevre there, he's jumps up there, and he didn't have a linebacker in his face, so he got plenty.
Been effective so far on the ground. 6 carries, 60 yards, and a first down in Red Black territory. The sweep to Banks. Finds some room upside. Is down around the 35. Little guy, but he is explosive.
Well, I think we may be just scratching the surface on this guy offensively. And last year receiving, he had less than 10 catches, just 9 catches last year. So he tried to work into the offense a little bit. Kick returner, punt returner. Seen some good speed offensively, and they continue to create more plays for him.
Walking the tightrope again, as he did on that opening touchdown. Lefevre looks to the air. Another first down. There's Kerry Cope. We're close to a first down. Let's check the spot at the 25, a little inside that, as we've hit the 3-minute warning. Good first half in Hamilton. .244 left first half. CFL Live at the half. Rod, Matt, Schultze, and Jock will check in with their thoughts at halftime on what looks like it could be one of the higher scoring games we've had in the early Canadian Football League season. Ottawa by 3, but the Ticats threatening. They have a first down. Red Black 24-yard line. There's Banks again, taking the handoff on that side of the field. Jasper Simmons with the tackle. Banks gets 7.
Brendan Lang here has got to get up the field a little bit more, just to give Ottawa fans, to show you why they're having problems with that fly sweep there to Brandon Banks, to Banks to get him outside. You see how Brandon Lang is frozen there on the line of scrimmage. If he gets upfield, turns Banks inside, he's got some help from his linebackers.
Banks 25 yards rushing, a 53-yard pass and run touchdown, and here's Gable plowing ahead. And he is dragged down by Brandon Lang, and a a flag, and we'll see. Is that a horse collar?
I think it is, yeah. Whether you grab the jersey or you grab the actual shoulder pads of the player from behind, if you pull them down from behind like that from the jersey
Major
or pads.
foul, horse collar tackle. Ottawa number 91. Half the distance to the goal, automatic, first down.
And Lang's had some penalty problems. He had 4 flags in the loss in Edmonton.
And right there is the right around the call. That's textbook horse collar.
You're on.
Or rule book horse collar. And a roadblock there just inside the 5-yard line, and Brandon Lang among the red-black tacklers.
You know, we talked about Siobhan Walker's issues when he was kind of dancing inside the 5-yard line. Gable has the same sort of issue here, but it's not his fault as much this time as it was Siobhan, because it was Dan Lefevre holding the ball there for a little bit longer. Lefevre wanted to keep it. He looked at an open edge and thought he might pull it. We showed it in slow motion. It really slowed the progress of C.J. Gable.
2nd and goal from the 4. Hamilton had a stop inside the 5. Ottawa trying to do the same. Lefevre trying to take off and go forward to the back of the end zone. Incomplete.
You know, Bakari Grant wanted the football right on the sideline of the end zone here.
And good pressure from Brandon Lang to make Lefevre throw it away.
And Lefevre's got to get his jersey back on. There's Brandon Lang, you mentioned, Chris. That was close to a horse collar, but he got him from the side and pulled the jersey down.
So the 2 teams have traded a pair of touchdowns in this first half. A couple of stops deep, and now they trade field goals, and the game is tied once again, 17 apiece, with under 2 minutes to go.
McMaster alum in the house.
Yes, we saw him cheering his team at home last week in Ottawa, and back at home here in Hamilton. The great Russ Jackson.
One of the great highlights of that game was the cameras catching the fan with the beer walking past Commissioner Mark Cohen, past Stephen Harper, and shaking hands with the great Russ Jackson. It was fantastic. No disrespect to the first 2 guys I mentioned, but that's the legend. That's the star.
13 plays, 75 yards for Hamilton. To get back on even terms. Burris with under 2 minutes to go. A fake to Walker, and now a dart to Marcus Henry, who stayed on his feet. Quick whistle there, but a first down for Henry up beyond the 45.
Those are the little things that Henry Burris does well. That little pump fake that he did there to the flat route, it looked like it was Siobhan Walker. The pump fake here frees the defense. Even if you're downfield a little bit, about 10 yards, that pump fake holds you for a second, and that's when Marcus Henry opens up.
I think there was a sense that he was going to be a primary target in this offense. We've seen it first half. 4 catches, a touchdown, a hitch, and that one is contained, but flags were flying, and Henry Burris signaling it's going against Hamilton. Former Ticat Dobson Collins, the man who caught the football.
Offside. Hamilton number 97. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Ted Laurent offside. It'll be 1st and 5.
He's got a lot of, Henry Burris has 15th season, and he's got a lot of great football in him. I mean, he's gone now 143 passes without a pick for the Ottawa REDBLACKS. We showed you his numbers from the last 2 years here in Hamilton. 11 of 18, 2 touchdowns. Getting it done.
Both backs release. Got some time, and Henry can't bring in the catch. An open target at the Ticat 45.
A little bit behind and low. That's a big receiver, 6'5". He stepped in and threw a fastball that was just a little bit behind Marcus Henry. Tough catch for the big, tall receiver to go down and get.
Made a tougher catch than that last week.
Well, you know what?
Shoe tops.
Upon further review, it was a little easier than I thought.
We have registered that as a drop, 2nd and 5, downfield. And this one intercepted. Craig Butler with the pick. His first as a Ticat. And that ends that streak that you mentioned.
And they had to get Craig Butler back in the middle. The defense shows great range here to run down this corner route. The corner route, generally speaking, is not something the safety can get to. Often the safety can take all the inside routes from the 2 slot backs and the short side wide out, but he cannot usually get to a corner route. But that shows you what kind of range, even on a bad ankle, that Craig Butler has. The 145th pass attempt for Henry Burris is intercepted. It's a good streak. We jinxed him. It's official.
No, you did. I had my man.
You were with me winter tie there.
Yes, I was. Sam Jaguar with the catch. It'll be a short gain as the Red Blacks try to rip it out. It's just the 3rd interception by the Ticats this year. The other 2 by a defender not in the lineup, injured Rico Murray.
But that's a play. That's not a bad decision or a bad throw from Burris. That's a play made by great free safety in the middle. I said over the last couple of years many times that I think Craig Butler can be an all-star free safety for years and years.
Back in a familiar position after moving to the wide side linebacker spot. 2nd and 6. Lefebvre over the middle. And is that catch made? Drilled Gavins over the back of Andy Fantuz. And Fantuz has his first catch. And you mentioned earlier, all 7 catches last week were second half receptions in Calgary.
Yeah, he's still finding his way a little bit, you know, and that sometimes takes a little bit of the game to get more comfortable. That was a tough one.
They go hurry up here, and they get it back to Fantuz at the 48, dragged down with just over a half-minute remaining. Trying to get it at least into field goal range for Medlock, and they're getting close.
He posts up as good as any receiver in the league, Fantuz.
I like the way Ken Austin phrased something about Andy Fantuz's qualities. He knows how to get uncovered.
Please reset the game clock to 35 seconds.
Interesting way to say that, really, because, you know, implying basically that he's covered initially, but he finds a way. That's what I mean about posting up, that it's like a center down low in basketball.
2nd and 5, and there is Tasker with the catch. Another first down. Ticats marching here, trying to put points off that turnover on the board.
Dan Lefebvre calling it on the line of scrimmage. Just gave the route to Kerry Cope on the short side.
Clock running. A couple dozen seconds left. Flag flies. And now that clock is stopped. And the coach tells you who the penalty's against. Now here's an option. Ottawa can take the yardage or run the clock.
Procedure. Hamilton, number 56. 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Jeremy Lewis flagged again, the big right tackle in his 2nd game out of Miami.
Had a good block on the C.J. Gable touchdown, but has had a couple penalties too.
So the ball back at the 42-yard line. Here comes the blitz. Lefebvre looks the other way, and a short gain for Koch as closing quickly the veteran Javon Johnson.
Eric Fraser came on the blitz, and Eric Fraser knows a little bit about Dan Lefebvre, both from Central Michigan, and he came on that blitz, wanted a chance to get to his quarterback and didn't get there in time. They were roommates back there in college.
Yeah, he might know a lot of good dirt. Lefebvre throws, catch is made. There's Fantuz getting dragged down around the 30, so they have worked it into field goal range with 5 seconds to go. Pretty good first half for Dan Lefebvre.
Well, let's take a look at Andy Fantuz just sort of posting up again, like I mentioned in how he's covered, and then he becomes uncovered. Just kind of turns up, posts up. He shields the defender, T.J. Hill, takes down a rebound and puts his field goal team on the
Hamilton.
Ticats calling a timeout to make sure their unit is organized. It looked like, and I don't think Kent Austin liked the use of the timeout. Somebody in that huddle sensed that they weren't organized and they burn a timeout that the coach didn't want to use. Medlock 3 for 4 on the year. Longest from 42, this from 36. And Medlock will hit the field goal to give the Ticats the halftime lead. Good first half, both teams scoring a pair of touchdowns. Ticats a pair of field goals, 2017, as we head to Rod Smith and our coach.
Yes, thank you, Chris. Lots of scoring in this one for a change compared to the way things were last week for the Ticats and for the REDBLACKS. Neither had a touchdown, and as Chris just talked about, each with a pair. It's the GMC Coaches Playbook with Paul LaPolice. Let's look at one of the touchdowns in particular, CJ Gable for the Ticats.
Yeah, you know, and I love what the Ticats are doing with Dan Lefevre. They got a nice package for him, quick passes, but they're using his legs real well. And I want to talk about a concept they ran, we call speed option, to use the quarterback's legs. So basically when you run speed option, you leave the end man on the line of scrimmage. That's the quarterback's man. Now the tackle can get a better angle up to the weak side linebacker. You'll see the line all come front side. They're all going to be working. Now they've got better angles because they don't have to go all the way to the outside. Quarterback attacks the defensive end, okay, and reads what he does. If he comes upfield, the quarterback will take it and come around the edge with good angles up by the offensive line. If the end collapses and comes down or stays on the line of scrimmage towards the quarterback, you pitch it outside. Great pitch fundamentals here. Underneath, turn his thumb down, get the ball on the outside to CJ Gable. Watch what happens here. You do these so you can get the ball on the perimeter quickly. All those defensive linemen don't matter in linebackers. You just got the will linebacker. This is what you tell your running backs. Cut the weak arm. That when they over pursue as a defensive back or linebacker, cut back against the grain. Great blocks downfield. So again, the speed option was great for them to get the ball on the perimeter when they're faster guys. And I love what they're doing early on with Dan Lefevre because he's such a good athlete, not only a good quarterback, but he can use his legs very well.
He really is. And one of the interesting aspects of this matchup, it was the play of C.J. Gable last year that made Siobhan Walker expendable. You know, Walker's been fired up, a couple of big plays so far this season. And in this game, ex-Ticats, well, there's Banks with the first touchdown, but some of the ex-Ticats like Henry Burris fired up for this one as well. And Matt Carter used to play for Hamilton as well, started his career there. We'll talk about that and more coming up. CFL on TSN at the half, 17-17. It is part one of a doubleheader in the CFL on TSN today. Later on, we head to Regina and the second meeting in this young season between the Riders and Toronto Argonauts, who beat Saskatchewan handily back in week 2. Just 2 wins between them, though. They both are certainly in need. That is coming up after this game is done. Live at the half. Did I say 17-17? Well, I was partially right. It was until, of course, Hamilton added another field goal, 2017.
We'll forgive you, Rod. It's not a big deal.
Get the score straight, Smith, is what they were saying off camera beforehand. Jock Climby, Matt Dunnigan, and Chris Schultz. Yes, interesting. As mentioned before, touchdowns really came at a premium last week in general, and neither of these teams had one. So offense is doing much better. And you know, and we didn't really get much of a chance to talk about this before this game, Jock, how fired up Henry Burris would be after the Ticats let him go, and he's facing his old team for the first time since.
Yeah, it matters. In case anybody out there is wondering whether it matters to guys like Chevy Walker and Henry Burris, it matters a lot. You know, during the week, Henry Burris was very clear with the media when asked. He said, this was not a mutual decision. I left Hamilton because I was sent packing. And believe me, he's coming back in and would like nothing better than to win this football game. And he's playing like it. I mean, he always plays hard. But the intensity with which Henry Burris has approached this game has really impressed me. This is not a young man, but he's been running and he's been throwing exceptionally well. He's focused. We all know he doesn't have a lot of weapons, but the one weapon he does have is another very focused guy, and Chevy Walker. I mean, the explosion and the intensity with which Walker has been catching and running the football has been very impressive. I love to watch guys who are in a psychological frame of mind that they're going to bring their game to another level, and we're watching it with these two guys tonight.
Yeah, both these guys are playing with an edge like a chip on the shoulder. They've been discarded by the Hamilton Ticats. Sure, they want to make them eat crow. And I've been there, and I get that, and it's a real feeling. And Dan Lefevre making his first start in Hamilton, he's playing with a little edge as well. And why not play to his strengths and work on his weaknesses or lack of experience and let him run the football and get settled in? And you heard Coach Lapo talk about it, and this is a smart move by Coach Austin and certainly Tommy Condell, letting this guy do his thing, settle down, and spread out the defense. Not only with his capability of doing this, but also you throw in a little Brandon Banks misdirection, throwing a little C.J. Gable in there, and their speed has got this Ottawa defense spread out all over the football field. That helps the young quarterback see the field, settle down, and now those throws and the ball coming out quickly is more effective for the young quarterback making his first start.
Guys, going into this game, I thought the pressure was really on the Hamilton Ticats because they were the only team in the Canadian Football League that had not won a game. That is a big issue. So going into the game, who responds the best under pressure? Is it the quarterback? Is it the receiver? Is it the running back? No, it's Craig Butler, the free safety for the Hamilton Ticats. He has made some outstanding plays, first against the run, the physical side of football, the ability to come up and hit people with that level of intensity without fear for your body. Outstanding job by the free safety. Now, I know Tyrone Brackenridge is considered the best free safety in this league, but I'll tell you what, that guy's catching up right now. And then this play, the finesse side of the game, against the pass, that was a great catch. Jock, I don't know if you could have made that catch.
Whoa, Schultz.
Okay,
whoa, hang on.
Point being that he has responded to the pressure with a very good performance. Dwayne Ford says he is one of the most significant people ever coming out of University of Western Ontario. I think Craig Butler's ahead of him.
Came back from injury, too. I mean, he hurt his knee there, and he came right back, and that's a good sign of toughness right there. If you've gone to Queens, then I'd have taken that role.
There you go. I can vouch for him.
I know Schultz made a lot of enemies there saying that about free safety, saying Tyrone Brackenridge.
Schultz doesn't care about making enemies, though. Never does.
All the free safeties across the league are, no, we didn't. Schultz.
I look forward to it later on the season at some point. Jock is going to be raving about a block. And you know what he's going to say to you? Schultz, you couldn't have made that block. At some point. Just wait for that. Well, we're waiting for the second half here. Natasha Stanishevsky is coming up with a SportsCenter update. Dan Lefevre and the Ticats. Late field goal, yes, at a 3-point lead. Ticats by 3 at the half. Here's Jock with the stats.
Ken Austin's going to be pretty happy about his decision to start Dan Lefevre so far. I mean, look what he's doing passing the football. And hey, he's got almost 60 yards rushing the football. Time of possession for Ottawa has been a problem. They've been second worst in the league in that category, but they are dominating there so far in this football game. This is a very entertaining football game, in my opinion.
Let's go to Matthew Shinetti now with the Ticats quarterback, Dan Lefevre.
Dan, I've been hearing Ken Austin giving you all kinds of encouragement as you're coming back to the sidelines, but how do you evaluate your first start in the first half? There's some good, but there's a lot to improve on. Just got to stick with my progressions, be a little more patient, stuff like that, but that'll come with experience. Kent was talking about how he likes the fact that you're a dual threat quarterback. Has he told you, because we've seen you run a lot in the first half, to kind of use your discretion when to run? A little bit, certain plays. I think sometimes, I got to be a little more patient back there, but it's always a weapon if stuff breaks down. Thanks, Dan. All right, thank you.
Well, still early in the season in the CFL. Getting more interesting in Major League Baseball out of the All-Star break, especially in the American League East with the Toronto Blue Jays up against those New York Yankees again. Here's Natasha Stanishevsky.
Yes, Rada, the Jays hanging in there, continuing their series with the Yankees. They lost the opener yesterday, now trying to snap a 17-game losing skid in the Bronx. Let's show you what happened. The Jays up 3-2 in the ninth, looking for some insurance, and they get it from Dan Johnson, who delivers a 3-run shot to right. That's his first of the season. Toronto takes it 6-4. It's their first win at Yankee Stadium since August 29th, 2012. Third round of the RBC Canadian Open. Graham Dillette on 12 for Eagle. Nails it, drops him to 9 under after bogeying 14. Dillette on 15 puts his tee shot into the drink. He would bogey the hole and sits tied for 5th at 8 under. Jim Furyk on 14. His birdie will go. He is your leader at 15 under. SportsCenter coming up at 10 Eastern over on TSN2. We will have the rest of the baseball story for you, plus much more from the CFL. The second half is coming up.
There's a good spot on a warm Saturday night. The beer garden here at Ron Joyce Stadium. Good football game. Ticats by 3. And Henry Burris standing by with Matthew Shinetti.
We saw it last week, Henry, with Kier Johnson, building that trust. How are you doing that rep to rep with these guys?
Well, it's all about believing in our guys. I mean, as you see, we got guys who can make plays on this team. And you know, time after time, I just had to put my trust in those guys for them to read the coverage and know how to adjust the route based on it, based on the play that's called. And they're doing a great job for us tonight, making a lot of plays and keeping us on the field.
I have to ask you, the sidelines are pretty intimate here, and I hear Simone Lawrence giving it to you, but you're giving it as good back. Do you enjoy that kind of banter sometimes?
Well, that's what, you know, being a competitor is all about. And, you know, there's good friends over there. So, of course, during the course of battle, there's going to be things said. But, you know, after the game's over, we'll all be friends again. But we're both trying to get a big win for both sides. And hopefully we can do the things in the second half to make that happen.
Thanks, Henry.
Hey, thank you.
Well, both quarterbacks did make it happen in the first half. But that last interception on the final possession of the first half by Ottawa was turned into the go-ahead points by Dan Lefevre.
Yeah, I thought both quarterbacks played well. Both offenses put some points on the board. We saw them both drive. Dan Lefevre in his very first start, obviously all eyes on him. This is old hat for Henry Burris in 190th.
Lefevre with a combined 202 yardage, both passing and rushing. Siobhan Walker on the return. And he'll be angled out around the 35-yard line. Taken down by Moises Madou.
Take a look at the numbers for Henry Burris in that first half. 11 of 20, 114 yards, couple of touchdowns, and that streak ends at 145 passing attempts where he throws the interception to Craig Butler. But it was my fault because I jinxed him. Marcus Henry was his #1 target, 4 catches, 57 yards. And again, I'd like to see some more. I think Red Black fans want to see some more touches for Siobhan Walker if they can.
They want to see more production in the second half. The Red Blacks have been outscored 54-20 in the second half of games. Speaking of wanting to see more, Paris Jackson was vocal after last week when he didn't get a catch that he wanted to be more involved in the offense. His first catch.
They played in that first game, a real good one for Ottawa. Even though they lost against Winnipeg, it was a close one, 36-28 loss there, but got off to that great start, 21 touchdown. And Paris played a ton in that game. Didn't see the ball a lot. There was one second down conversion that it just out of his reach. Didn't see the field much after it.
2nd and 6. And there's another bullet from Henry Burris, a first down grab for big Marcus Henry at the 48-yard line.
That game, by the way, when we talked to Henry Burris about his receiving core, the first guy he talked about was Marcus Henry. Feels like his upside is tremendous, that with a little bit of confidence and sticking with him, that he is going to be his big play guy. Now, Kier Johnson at the beginning of the season sort of became that quickly, but Marcus Henry slowly working himself into the sight lines of Henry Burris.
Tight end split wide at either side. Burris looked one way, then the other, and now steps up, and he'll take a hit at the 50-yard line.
Was that short? Was that a sack considered? Was it behind the line of scrimmage or just in front of it? Because that would be Eric Norwood's first.
It's almost right at the line of scrimmage. It'll be interesting to see if that is registered as a sack.
Because I'm with you, Chris. I had to take another look at the stats just to double check. He might not even get it.
Yeah, Plessius there as well.
If it was considered a sack.
Canadian moving back into the middle linebacker spot. It's 2nd and 10. And Burris, like he changed his mind, looked for Dobson Collins, and it's incomplete. Initially had Marcus Henry in his sights, and at the last second changed his view.
Yeah, and he didn't see Brandon Stewart coming the opposite direction, and Brandon Stewart had a shot at an interception there. It was on that overthrow. Almost good for Henry Burris that he did overthrow that one, or it would have been going the other way, I think.
So Maher with a blast, and Brandon Banks back at his 11-yard line. And flag down, good contain on the play. Jason Pottinger, a former McMaster Marauder, leading the charge downfield.
It's a nice kick by Brett Maher. He got a lot on it and put it right in the corner where his cover team could corral the returner. Make sure that if you can get it inside between the numbers and the sideline, that's ideal. As deep as you can go and inside between the numbers and the sideline.
Looks like they picked up the flag, so no penalty on the play. Andy Vantoos and the Tiger Cats have the lead. They have their first possession of the second half when we come back to Ron Joyce Stadium in Hamilton. You've got questions? Discovery Science is the channel that has answers. Free preview is on now. Check your local TV listings.
Interesting, listen to the panel. I'll talk about Dan Lefevre at halftime, and I agree a lot that they let him run early to let him settle in, as Matt Dunnigan mentioned. And as the second quarter went on, he was throwing it better.
Just in time, pass incomplete.
Those were one of those throws from the quarterback where he sees the corner shooting the gap, and this time it was Javon Johnson, who's looking for his first interception of the season. He sees him shoot it, and he just, you know what he decides to do? Just, in the throwing motion, he adjusts it and overthrows him on purpose.
Antoine Brunel, the top DB, selected in the draft, now in at safety, and he's on the blitz again. Picked up Lefevre with the toss that's complete in front of Brandon Thompson. It's going to be short of the first down. Bakari Grant with the catch.
Well short. 2 yards short of the first down.
And the punt team has to be sent out.
Yeah, no decision here. Well, there's one coach in the league that may try something at this. Edmonton Eskimos Chris Jones tried a fake punt in his own end zone on Thursday night against Calgary.
Maypray back in his first game. Medlock sailing the punt to Maypray at the 38. Straight ahead, and that was Marcellus Bowman flying through to make the tackle. Wow. Shot out of a cannon, a 47-yard punt, 7 on the return. Henry Burris returning to Hamilton, trying to engineer the Red Blacks' second win in franchise history. Our sack tallies brought to you by Purolator, tackling hunger across Canada. Check. And only one tonight.
Yeah, and by a corner.
Yeah.
Javon Johnson, the only guy with a sack for the Red Blacks. No sacks for Hamilton. By the way, that one for Eric Norwood, we thought right at the line of scrimmage. That was ruled a tackle, not a sack.
That's improved in a lot of statistical categories on defense. The sack's the exception here. Burris pulling it down. Look out. Boy, he got caught trying to decide whether he should be spinning or sliding, and he paid the price for indecision.
I think you're right. It's exactly what happened. Just going through his mind was, should I hook slide or should I dive forward? He just paused for a second while he was trying to decide, and then closed on him in a hurry. I mean, he's got a huge lane to run in, and then watch how quickly Hamilton closes that gap. Marcellus Bowman there.
Eric Harris was there.
Eric Harris got there quickly as well.
So 2nd and 8. Here comes pressure. Underneath. Kier Johnson. First down. And Emmanuel Davis will toss him down at the 53, but the Red Blacks have a fresh set of downs as Burris hooks up with Kier Johnson.
Kier Johnson is working on Delvin Bro.
The passer. Hamilton, number 44. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
And tack on 15 against Taylor Reed.
And Delvin Bro gets up in the jam in the press position, but this is what I'm talking about with speed that you can use to your advantage on a crosser route, shallow crosser, because it makes Bro try to run through the linebacking core. He has to weave his way through there. And then the roughing the passer tacked on at the end.
Just the second catch of the night for Kier Johnson, who came into this week 6th in the league in receiving. Direct snap, Siobhan Walker. Some heavy contact there.
I know that the panel talked about it. We mentioned it in the first half about the guys that are returning to Hamilton. Siobhan Walker, Henry Burris, playing with that extra little bit of incentive and intensity in this game, wanting to make a statement here tonight. Siobhan Walker's done that a couple of times. We heard
holding. Ottawa number 66. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Right tackle Nolan McMillan called on the play. Big guy born in Arnprior, grew up in Renfrew, local product, who has been grading out very well in his rookie season, but not that play.
Well, the only time it's good news, if you're going to get a holding call, get it on first down.
Boy, this guy's getting rave reviews, though.
Yeah.
Number 9 pick in 2013 when the Red Blacks were allowed selections at the end of the rounds. Burris had enough time to find Wallace Miles, and there's his first catch. We saw him in the preseason in Saskatchewan looking very good. 4 catches in that game, but injured late in training camp, so making his Red Black debut tonight.
Well, and watch the strong arm here as well with Henry Burris. I mean, he is a guy in his face, and he basically sidearms that. And he turned around to the official after this hit, thought he got hit right in the head, which he did.
That was Terrence Moore, 2nd and 3 after the game, and a pass for Miles that was high, and he can't bring it down. Wallace Miles, one of that group that works out under the strict tutelage of our man Milt Stiegel in Atlanta. He was teacher's pet, according to the
is that right?
According to the feature, which means he was probably working harder than everybody else
and in better shape, likely getting a chance to play. And Rick Campbell told us this morning that we're looking forward to seeing him on the field a lot more. That's what he said. There's a lot of players that could be playing right now, but he wants that continuity, so he's trying to make minimal changes.
Maher was 6 for 6 last week. 38 yards away from tying this game. And he is right down the middle. Done a good job for the Red Blacks with his foot. 2020, early third quarter. Yes, it is good to be back in the Hammer. First game back here since the end of 2012. Ticats looking for their first win of the year. Let's go back to the sidelines. Here's Matthew Shinetti.
Guys, the Ticats have had a lot of rotation at quarterback, but what's really benefited them quite a bit is the fact that the receivers actually sit in the quarterback meetings. Now, it's certainly not something unique in football, but in this system with Austin's team, the fact is he wants his receivers to know exactly what the quarterbacks are doing, almost know their playbook and their own routes at the same time. And when I spoke to Lefevre about it, he said, listen, it keeps me at a comfort level because I know I can trust my guys because they know where they have to go and they know what I have to do, guys.
Well, they've been on the same page tonight. Here's C.J. Gable, the release man out of the backfield, contained for short yardage to the 39.
Yeah, I think it's a work in progress, obviously, but especially with Dan Lefevre in his first start. I've been impressed with him. He's shown great composure. He talked at halftime with Matthew about, you know, maybe being a little more patient in the pocket. Decent numbers, hasn't made the big mistake. He has to push the ball down the field, though. He hasn't taken a shot deep yet.
Second and 6, pressure on, pass over the middle. And there's Tasker, just like they drew it up in those meetings for a first down.
Yeah, and another intermediate throw. And I'm not taking anything away from Dan Lefevre, just that would be the next progression, try and hit a deep ball. His longest throw in all of his reps, whether as a backup this year or in this first start, has been a 53-yarder, but that was a swing pass to Brandon Banks that he got all the yak yards on that, a throw almost behind the line of scrimmage.
So 11 for Tasker, first down just beyond the 50. Here comes the blitz. And Lefevre able to step up and throw. He's got an open man. Tripped up around the 10-yard line. Well, there's the shot you were looking for.
And now you stretch out the Red Blacks defense a little bit. Their secondary backs off a little bit. He had to work to get there, though. This is Dan Lefevre in the shotgun, and he has to. The blitz is coming from the safety. They also got Brandon Lang off the edge. He has to beat that man by himself an extra little bit of time and then get it deep down the sideline, and Cook just stumbles, or he may score here on this cutback.
50-yard play. And Lefevre now up to 217 yards on the night.
40.
First down, turns back the other way. And he's going to have to throw this one away. Brandon Lang was there. Pruneau was putting on pressure again as Antoine Pruneau is now at safety for the Red Blacks.
That's a good decision by Dan Lefevre. The only receiver he had there was Andy Fantus, who was scrambling at the back of the end zone to try and present a target, but he had Javon Johnson in his hip pocket, and that would have been a real tough throw to make on the dead run like that from Lefevre. So good decision. Get a second chance here. Second down. No interception, didn't force anything.
Second and 10. Stands in and overthrows Andy Fantus. So the drive stops and the field goal unit will come on.
Little combination route to that side. Fantus working on Brandon Thompson. Gets an inside position there. Dan Lefevre wanted to throw that to a spot on the field where only Fantus had a crack at it and just overthrew it a bit.
Medlock's hit from 11 and 36 tonight. This is from 18 yards out. And the Ticats kick themselves back into the lead, 23-20. Just over 6 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Well, the most interesting subplot of this game is the return of Henry Burris, the decision by Kent Austin to go to another quarterback to start this season.
Sometimes you have two good choices. In our case, we had two good choices, and I don't think you're always cubbyholed into one or the other. We would have felt confident in bringing Henry back. Henry had an opportunity to come back. He turned it down. We went a different direction.
Well, we talked to Henry about that, and it didn't seem from his point of view that he did have as evident an option to come back as the Ticats feel.
Well, let's just say it like it is. It just wasn't there. The contract offer wasn't what Henry thought was fair market value, and didn't consider it a real offer to come back. Technically it was.
Walker, he gets hit again, and that defense been revved up to play against Siobhan Walker tonight.
You know, but Henry Burris didn't hear from the organization, according to what he told us today. He didn't hear from the organization as sort of the offseason went on, and he kind of had a feeling that they were going in another direction. And when Zach Collaros became available, that's the direction Kent Austin went, and Burris moves on to Ottawa.
What I found most interesting today is when he told us that he told Jeremiah Mazzoli and Dan Lefevre mid-season, this will be your team next year. I'm not going to be back. Flags fly. And it's caught by Miles, taken down by Frederick Plessius. And we'll check the flags.
So they'll agree to disagree,
yeah,
on how the relationship between Kent Austin and Henry Burris.
And the Red Blacks are happy with the decision. Kent Austin says he's happy with it.
Ottawa number 8. That penalty be declined. Third down.
So Maypre was offside.
Now, it's been unlucky for Kent Austin that the quarterback that he decided on has been injured, and can't really give us a date, and you can't do that. You can't predict that when it comes to head injuries for Zach Collaros, but said he was progressing very well and was very happy with him before he got hurt.
Another good move by Maher. Banks inside the 20. And the cover team gets the job done once again. Is that Jamichael Dean down in a hurry? No, it's excuse me. That's Kevin Scott, the long snapper, who shaken up. Kevin, who missed his sister's wedding last week. for the home opener at TD Place Stadium.
Boy, was that fun. Beautiful stadium.
Oh, I thought you meant the sister's wedding.
No, no, I didn't make the wedding. I didn't make the game, though.
Yes, it was. Gable inside and traffic heavy there as well.
You know, the center after the snap is usually free to go down the field and is not a guy that the return team will line up and block. You see 54 there. He spins around. I think he gets kicked right there in the head and his neck bent back a little bit. Hopefully he'll be okay. Said his back was sore, probably felt the spasm as he got kicked. But important to watch him because long snapper is obviously crucial in the kicking game.
Now Jasper Simmons getting attention, the weak side linebacker who came up with the interception to clinch last week's big red-black victory. And let's go back to the sidelines. Matthew Schnetti has an injury update.
Okay, guys, so what I'm hearing, Justin Phillips has been evaluated at a local hospital and has broken his fibula. Also, Kier Johnson is out of the game. He's currently...
I think we need batteries for the
we lost that, but
that's okay.
That explains why Tim Mapre was in the offense in the last series for Rick Campbell.
Yeah, so no Kier Johnson. And also why we saw a little bit more of Wallace Miles in the offense. So take a look now at Jasper Simmons. He has to go out for at least 3.
And we're told that Kier Johnson has ice on his forearm. That's the nature of his injury. And there is Simmons. As Johnson on the red-black bench, and now Jasper Simmons making his way over there. And that look tells you we're not going to see Kier Johnson back tonight.
Doesn't look like it.
Jasper Simmons was the injured red-black.
The man that made the big play last week to put Ottawa in position to kick the winning field goal.
Doesn't look like he can get in a bar in Canada, but believe me, he's of age and has quickly become a big play guy for Henry Burrs. So the Red Blacks obviously would love to have him back in the lineup. Hopefully that's not too serious on that forearm and he won't be out long.
You talked about no interceptions and I talked about no injuries, so we're
both on the hook here.
Second and long, Fraser back in the game. He is blitzing. Lefevre steps up, takes off, and gets a block. What a block that was! And Lefevre has a first down up at the 50-yard line. Andy Fantus sprung his quarterback.
Well, blitz coming first off from Eric Fraser, and he doesn't get there. He's coming through this A-gap blitz right here, number 7, and Lefevre sees that's picked up in there by C.J. Gable. Now he finds that lane to run in. Watch the block coming from Andy Fantus. Here he comes, number 83. Pow!
Lefevre's 7th carry, now 85 yards in the game, throws over the rush and finds Tasker for another first down into Ottawa territory.
One more time, Andy Fantus out of Western. Veterans getting back into the groove after coming back from injury. Remember, for Fantus, it was a head injury, so it takes a little bit of playing time to get that confidence back that he can make a block like that. He takes 2 pursuing Ottawa Red-Black tacklers out of the play.
Took out Brandon Thompson, and in turn, Travis Brown was slowed up. And the Ticats are marching. Here comes Fraser on the blitz again, the old roommate. And they screen it off to Gable. Trying to outrun Travis Brown, and does that. And has another first down as he's taken out by Seth Williams.
Eric Fraser comes on another blitz, and he just hesitant a little bit. And when he's like that, he's either got to make a decision to go and just commit to the blitz, or decide to cover down a back out of the backfield. But watch to the left here he comes. Now see him hesitate right there, a little shuffle step. That was the split second that Lefevre needed to get it to C.J. Gable.
19 yards for Gable. And handoff inside. Pushes the pile a little deeper down to the 23-yard line. Prior to that carry, C.J. Gable on the night, 6 touches, 80 yards.
And the third straight play, Chris, that Eric Fraser, the roommate of Dan Lefevre, has come on the blitz, and he's not been involved yet in making the tackle or anything, but what he's doing is vacating the middle every single time he does that. And Dan Lefevre has got to have noticed that by now. See if he stays back there on this play.
2nd and 3, short drop. Pass over the middle is caught. Or picked off. Javon Johnson wrestled the football away, and he has his first interception as a member of the Red Blacks.
Yeah, he took it. He stole that football. It looked like it was a completion initially. But Javon Johnson in the press coverage on Kerry Coke on this slant route, and did Coke have it, and then
he rips it out of there.
Rips it right off his shoulder pads. And just with one arm rips it away from him.
Now I'm wondering if you'd see a challenge on that.
I'm back.
Javon Johnson celebrating what would be his 24th career interception.
Formation, Ottawa, 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Too many men in the huddle, so that will drop them back. As the ball has been spotted at around the 6-yard line.
Baby, 814, we here. We here. That's for Ottawa, baby, we back. Let's go.
Javon Johnson was due.
Let's get paid.
First down, Red Blacks, quickly into the hands of John Delahunt from the former Ottawa Sooner, and Hamilton Tiger Cat gives them a little breathing room.
Boy, that's a nice play to just pick up the penalty yards and then some, then a few more, give yourself a manageable situation on 2nd down. Delahunt just runs a little out from the tight end position, and Henry Burris puts it on him just to make up that penalty yardage.
Big catch last week in the win at home that meant a little bit more to a guy from the Ottawa area. So 2nd and about 7, and they're going deep. And too far from Maypray, Courtney Stephen. They're defending on the corner.
Interesting formation here for Ottawa to put 3 players into the boundary, and when they do that, it's to isolate. So there's 3 players over here, 3 receivers, and then to the field, you just have 2. These 2 out here, and that's to get the isolation man-to-man they want on the corner, Courtney Stephen. They have the play, they have the receiver, he's in behind coverage. Just couldn't connect.
Wobbly kick that will bounce out of bounds right about midfield. In fact, exactly at the 55-yard line, just a 38-yard punt. So the turnover prevented Hamilton from getting points, but Ken Austin gets the football back in good field position. Looking to enhance this 3-point lead.
Well, I'm interested to see if Mark Nelson will continue to send the safety Eric Fraser and vacate the middle, daring Dan Lefevre to try and throw it deep. Nelson's been aggressive with his secondary. See Javon Johnson on a blitz.
Lefevre hit as he throws for Gable and almost intercepted. Seth Williams on the corner, and Dan Lefevre under pressure got hit as he delivered.
Keith Sholigan, I believe, is going to be the guy that puts the hit on Dan Lefevre here. Oh, actually, it's the backside.
Like Jonathan Williams.
Jonathan Williams gets the hit, but in the target area.
2nd and 10. Here comes the safety once again. Lefevre wide side for Bantus. Makes the catch. Can't break the tackle. Seth Williams held on and holds it to a 5-yard gain.
Yeah, Mark Nelson, Chris, is just telling Dan Lefevre, he's saying, look, I'm going to send this guy on all of our passing downs. There's the safety. Now, that leaves this part of the field wide open here. And Dan Lefevre has yet to go ahead and try and attack it.
Headlock the boot. Maypray, who took his time getting back there, fields it and is dropped immediately. Tackle on the play from Marc-Andre Fortin. And that's the end of the 3rd quarter here in Hamilton. Close game. Ticats looking for their first win. Will take a 3-point lead to the 4th quarter. Explosive start. The defense is starting to dig in as we head to the 4th quarter.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of interceptions. We've seen the defenses respond. Eric Fraser on a bunch of safety blitzes. Look like Ottawa is really sort of tempting Dan Lefevre, or at least challenging him to try and throw the football deep down the middle. He hasn't done that all game, so it's an interesting chess match at this point.
Yeah, I like when you start to trigger what the game within the game is, and it's certainly the cat and mouse game between the safety being sent on almost every play and whether or not Tommy Condell and Dan Lefevre could expose that.
Go after it, yeah. And the other side, you know, Henry Burr has got to go back to Siobhan Walker in my mind. I mean, that's the playmaker for Ottawa, and try and maybe get him involved in the passing game out of the backfield.
37 points first half, 6 in that 3rd quarter. First down at the 15-yard line for Burris as we start the 4th quarter with a tight end screen there to Patrick Lavoie. His 2nd catch of the game. He had that big catch in the first half from Brett Marhar on the fake punt. Setting up 2nd and 5. Again, no Kier Johnson available here in the 4th quarter. Maypray into the game. Harris Jackson releases. He was the man in motion. Catch is made. Marcus Henry with a first down and more up near the 45-yard line. Well, this has been Marcus Henry's best game in the early going as a Red Black.
Yeah, I would agree with that. He's been reliable, and he just gets dropped here when Burris gets outside. Just runs the curl quickly. He knows that there's going to be pressure on him. Just turns right in front of that zone. Brandon Stewart deep outside 3rd. Sorry,
excuse me. 6 for 91, which matches the 6 for 91 Kier Johnson had last week, the Red Black season high. And Burris guns that through, and it's caught. And there was Paris Jackson or Marcus Henry again. So over 100 yards for Henry on the night. Back-to-back first down completions from Burris to big number 16.
Over 100 yards tonight, and then 3 games coming in, he had 100 yards or just over it. So that tells you how much more comfortable Henry Burris is with his big, tall target out of Kansas.
6'5", 224. 41 yards on the last 2 plays for Marcus Henry from Henry Burris. Burris has Lavoie, and Patrick Lavoie down the sidelines for another first down. Henry Burris did a good job of not crossing the line of scrimmage there.
Yeah, I was looking closely at that. It was around the 49, and he was pushing the limit.
So Lavoie's got his 3rd catch. 20 yards on the latest grab.
Well, let's take another look. He's just ahead of that 50-yard stripe, so kind of moves out to his left, throws it just behind the 50-yard stripe.
It's amazing how those quarterbacks know exactly that extra sense. The flag flies as Norwood brings down Burris. And Burris signaling that the flag is going against Hamilton.
Bitch, I seen these defenses 50 million times.
Now throw that pick to it. Hey, that's all fair.
Remember that touchdown, Chris, to Marcus Henry in the first half where Burris stepped up and hit him on that post, crossing over the middle in front of the backup safety,
Illegal
Neil
contact.
King.
Hamilton, 10-yard penalty, first down.
So receiver downfield was...
This time it's Craig Butler. They want to run the same play to Marcus Henry on that crossing post route. Watch Craig Butler jump it. And this is why Henry Burris has nowhere to throw the football. Here comes Henry in that layered post. Jumped by the free safety right here. It's all well covered, and Burris has to take off and run. There's the difference in the experience.
First down to the 18-yard line. Burris is going to look into the corner. Into the deep corner. It's incomplete. And again, looking for number 16, Marcus Henry.
One thing they're doing well here, the Ottawa REDBLACKS, is to move the launch point for Burris. Mike Gibson's not just leaving him in the pocket. Burris can be a pocket passer, of course, but he's moving him, getting him out on the edge, getting him in that tackle, off the tackle, in the half roll, making it awful difficult for the rush ends to know exactly where Burris is going to be.
Looking for their first touchdown in the second half of the season. Pass caught. And Marcus Henry has a first down and goal for the REDBLACKS inside the 5.
Marcus Henry, that was maybe of all of his catches tonight, that was probably the most difficult. It was on a line, it was a laser hard throw from Burris, and it was behind him. And he was just coming out of his break, watched him the entire play. It'll just be to the right of your screen. And he comes out of his break, it's in behind him, he has to switch his body back the other way and catches it with both hands.
They've been stopped inside the 5 once tonight, first and goal. Here comes pressure, and Burris is taken down. Eric Harris on the blitz, gets home for his first sack.
Wanted a flat route out there, and it was well covered. As Burris, he was going to almost jump throw this one to Siobhan Walker, and it was jumped. And as soon as he saw the defender jump Siobhan Walker, he pulls it down. Eric Harris gets the sack.
Loss of 12, back to the 16, second and goal. 4 receivers wide side. Walker stays in the block, but there's more pressure, and Burris fumbled the football. They're really incomplete. But they dialed up the heat and got to Burris on back-to-back plays.
Yeah, let's take a look, because I thought he was trying to pitch it to Siobhan Walker. He saw in front of him, but if it's forward, it's considered a forward pass and incomplete. So you see Burris moving out of trouble here, or trying to, and even if it's underhand, it doesn't matter. Underhand throw, it's an incomplete pass, as long as it's forward.
Like the ball almost
now the question
stuck in his hand. He clearly was trying to shovel it. But there is going to be a challenge here.
Well, that was right in front of Kent Austin and the Hamilton bench. And I think Kent Austin's argument here is that his hand was hit and he fumbled that football.
Hamilton is challenging the ruling of an incomplete pass for a fumble. We'll review the play.
It looked like there was an intention to eventually shovel it, but it just kind of fell out of the hand, and
yeah,
that's why the challenge.
And when I saw it the second time, you know, my first thought was, did he try to underhand it and then stop himself and then get hit and the ball fumbled? And then it could be ruled a fumble. So let's take another look. I mean, clearly he thought, like, it looked like he was trying to underhand throw it and then stopped his forward progress with his arm.
Now, if he's just trying to hand it off there, it would be ruled a fumble. His arm does come forward, the ball comes out, and it might be as simple as that for the video replay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you know, even if it wasn't intentional, in other words, he was trying to stop and not pitch it. It was forward, and it did come out of his hand as his arm was moving forward. It should be incomplete.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Incomplete pass.
Ken Austin doesn't agree. And the Red Blacks will send the field goal unit on to tie the game. I understand the disagreement, but yet I think they've made the right call.
I do too. It was the right call, and the intention may not have been underhand throw it, but it did.
23-yard field goal attempt. Maher drills that through. This game tied once again. CJ Gable and the Tiger Cats trying to post their first home victory, their first victory of the year. We're locked in a tie for the 5th time tonight in Hamilton. The CFL on TSN is brought to you by GMC. We are professional grade. Game's been tied at 7, 14, 17, 20, and now locked at 23 on an interesting night. Tiger Cats trying to get the elusive first win of the year. Red Blacks trying to win at home for the first time, or on the road for the first time. And Lefevre dancing across the 40-yard line. Has 6 to set up 2nd and 4.
All things considered, starting quarterback Dan Lefevre in his first start. Team has struggled at 0-3 out of the gate, lost 4 of 5 starting offensive linemen, and going with 3 rookies in the lineup, like raw rookies. Tiger Cats been battling tonight.
Left. Dan Lefevre at 91 yards. Mike Riley had a 96-yard rushing game. Here's Brandon Banks trying to get outside. And he got strung out this time, unable to turn the corner. And that will bring up 3rd down.
Well, you know, Brandon Banks here, he needed to put the brakes on and see what he could get up the field, because on a fly sweep like this where you're coming back across the formation, you got 4 yards to go for the first down. Javon Johnson bubbles him. He shoots the gap and bubbles him. But he needed to get north-south.
Here's Maypray fielding the medlock kick and just getting out of the way of another freight train downfield, a 48-yard punt.
Is that Marcellus Bowman again?
This time it looked like it was Moses Madu. Or was it? No, it is Bowman. The arrow one more time. Wow.
Coming up after this game, part 2 of the doubleheader, Dwight Anderson and the Argos back against his old team in Saskatchewan just about right away. And if the game in Hamilton goes a little bit late, the start of this one will be on TSN2 in about 15-20 minutes time. Back to Chris and Glenn.
Looking forward to hustling home.
Yeah, absolutely.
See that one. Here's a handoff inside. Good inside yardage for Javon Walker.
Former Winnipeg Blue Bomber Marcellus Bowman, you called him the arrow. That's what he's been tonight. He has caused some havoc on the teams, makes a tackle on that last play. And this guy gets down the field. When he was at Boston College, there's a tackle on the last play. He was classified as one of the hardest hitters in the ACC playing for the Eagles. He was a strong safety, played a little free safety, but that was his calling card. He would come down the field and hit you. And he's been doing that tonight.
Well, this defense will look even tougher when they get Simone Lawrence back, 16 tackles in 2 games. Willis in trouble and escapes. And up to the 42-yard line.
Started to dig a little deeper in his days in Boston College. Marcellus Bowman in the Emerald Bowl against USC had 6 tackles, a sack, a forced fumble from a monster hit, and an interception. Just dominant.
One of the first free agents signed by Ken Austin, but missed the first 9 games last season on the DL coming off knee surgery. But he's back. 2nd and 5. Here comes the heat. The sidearm sling to Maypray, and he'll get stopped short of the first down. Emmanuel Davis stepped up to contain Maypray and prevent an Ottawa first down.
A little bit of pressure here, and the timing is off on the play. The idea there is for Marcus Henry to come from one side of the formation and kind of set a pick, and for Maypray to come from the other side and take advantage of the pick. Go ahead and run it. Watch out. Right here, Henry Burrs he pops up there, and the timing is off a little bit, and that allows the tacklers now to get in front of Maypray.
Taylor Reed also in on the tackle. Kick to Banks. Flag comes down. Banks steps out at the 23, but they'll be backed up a little bit from there.
Brandon Stewart in the 5-yard zone.
Just a 40-yard punt. Ken Austin had an interesting idea about no
Illegal
yards
block.
today.
Hamilton,
Illegal
number
block.
9. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Illegal block.
It's against Brandon Stewart. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Got a tie football game midway through the fourth quarter. CFL Fantasy's now a reality. Go to tsn.ca/CFL Fantasy to set your roster for a chance to win a trip to the 102nd Grey Cup and a Joseph Aboud suit from Moores. Every pick counts. Make yours today. I wonder if a few of our fans picked Dan Lefevre this week.
Well, this is a great opportunity for the young quarterback to really make a statement. Dan Lefevre's 254 yards passing, but this is a huge drive here.
91 yards rushing. Here comes the rush. Pass by Tasker in front of Javon Johnson. And a catch at the 25-yard line will be a first down.
Tasker on the curl route. Ken Austin told us that they're not sure, Zach Collaros, how long it'll take for him to come back from that injury. This is a chance for Dan Lefevre to make a statement.
Didn't get 52 yards. Bruno was blitzing. They screen it off. And C.J. Gable has room in his pocket. Look at the speed of C.J. Gable. They're going to catch him. Maybe down at the 3 and a flag on the tackle. Boy, the USC Trojan has afterburners. 215 pounds. He just raced 83 yards.
And no safety in the middle to make that tackle when he got past the second line of defense, which is the linebacking core, because Bruno had gone on the
Major
blitz.
Foul, horse collar tackle. Ottawa, number 23. Half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
Horse collar against Seth Williams. First and goal, Tiger Cats.
Let me show you that blitz from Antoine Pruneau. Here he comes down on the side here. Now, coming out of the backfield is going to be C.J. Gable. And as we run this play, okay, now hold it right there for a second. They get the screen. No tackler in the middle. They run off the halfback and corner to the outside, open up the middle. Gable just needs to make one linebacker miss and then kicks it into high gear.
Caught from the back by Seth Williams, but a horse-colored tackle on the play. Actually, Jerome Gavin's probably the guilty party there. Saved a touchdown for at least the time being, but it's first and goal from the 1. Lefevre goes over 300 yards passing. I think any quarterbacks ever started their CFL career with over 300 yards passing and over 100 yards rushing. He's 9 away from a century, and trying to sneak in here will bounce off and losing yard. Tackle by T.J. Hill. Man, now it gets a little tougher. Second and goal from the 2.
Yeah, and the middle was jammed up. He just wanted to try and run the sneak there, and as he tried to get in behind his center, Tim O'Neill, it just got jammed back right there. It was Lang, and Brandon Lang, who got that penetration, had to bounce outside, and then Hill got him.
May have marked it close to the 1. So second and goal. He was trying to sneak it in as he broke in the play.
Travis Brown wanted an earlier whistle. Middle linebacker.
And he literally bent over backwards to score.
Yeah, you're in the fourth effort here. Jammed up again. Hasn't crossed.
And there.
And the ball just shoots across as he bent over backwards, as you mentioned.
So it's a touchdown lead for the Tiger Cats. Still over 5 minutes to go. But it's been an impressive opening night for Dan Lefevre, trying to claim the vacant starting job in Hamilton. 30-23.
That was rolling though.
As the understudy tries to beat last year's starter in Hamilton, Henry Burris.
Well, he kept fighting down on the goal line, and he just kept pushing and twisting and doing everything he could. Watch Brown come up in there. He's the middle linebacker. He wanted a whistle right now saying forward progress had stopped, and there's the second effort from Lefevre. He twists, and you know right here that he's crossed the plane. There's your football across the plane of the goal line.
Mentioned what a dual threat he was in college.
Jeffrey Fadex Maddox. Shout out from your boys right here. Show him too.
That's a quarterback, right?
College teammate Jake Olson was his left tackle.
Yeah, and there, but that's a quarterback. He's got the camera now. He's directing traffic on the field, and he's directing traffic with our camera. Paul Hemming took a backseat, our director, for that sequence.
Gets an assist.
Well, there's still football to be played. Henry Burris has a shot now to match the score.
DJ Harper on the return. Up to the 35.
Now, he talked about it all week. How important it was for Henry Burris to make a statement to his old coach in Kent Austin.
He got stopped.
75 yards to match that major from Dan Lefevre.
Well, turnaround there. The REDBLACKS had a chance. They had to settle for 3. Gave it back to Lefevre. And he engineers a touchdown march. Paris Jackson out of the backfield. Put down line of scrimmage. Eric Harris there on the tackle. Again, no Rico Murray or Simone Lawrence, but for the second straight week, the same Hamilton defense, and they have been a much tougher unit than the second half.
Yeah, they tightened things up in the second half. Haven't really sent more pressure. They've just been better tacklers in the open field, and their defensive line is keeping better containment on Siobhan Walker.
Former member of the Ottawa Renegades, Orlando Steinauer. Big 2nd and 10 play here for the REDBLACKS. Pressure coming. Burris got it away and has another first down completion to Marcus Henry. What a night he's having.
Well, that's the next step for Orlando Steinauer. You just showed the defensive coordinator for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. The type of game that Henry's having and where we are in the game, it's almost time to bracket him. Double cover a guy like Marcus Henry. And maybe what he's trying to call right now is to get a little help on number 16.
Henry to Henry, 9 times for 133 and a touchdown.
Do that in a couple of ways. You can do it with your linebacker. He walks out and tries to jam Henry on the line of scrimmage and allow the defensive back covering him to pick him up after he gets around the jam, or double team him with the safety. And if Burris sees that double team, if in fact Hamilton goes there, then it's up to him to go to the backside of the formation because someone's in one-on-one with no safety help.
Marcus Henry with more yards tonight than in the first 3 games. It's a first down in the hands of Siobhan Walker. Shuffles his feet and pushes ahead to the 52. So 5 for Walker.
Patrick Lavoie seeing some tight end for Ottawa as well.
Just thinking that play to C.J. Gable is one that you expect to see from Siobhan Walker, turning that little dump pass into a big gain. Gable went 83 yards. Does Walker have an answer? 2nd and 5. Yankees in the block. Henry will be stopped short of the first down. Just a yard on the play. Emmanuel Davis closed in a hurry.
Emmanuel Davis came up because the way that Steinauer decided to play that one was to play a zone defense, not give the man-to-man situation to Marcus Henry.
We're at the 3-minute warning at Ron Joyce Stadium. 7-point Ticat lead, looking for their first win.
Coming up, Darian Durant and the Riders up against the Toronto Argonauts. That's the second part of our doubleheader. If this game carries on a little bit more, you can watch the start of the Riders Argos on TSN2. Got to finish in Hamilton, though. Back to Chris and Glenn.
Well, we're back, and Rick Campbell's going to roll the dice. This is unconventional.
It's a little early.
Just under 3 minutes to go. They're going for it. Third and just over 2. And I'm surprised.
I am too. A little early. You know, that play took 12 seconds. There's 2:42, I believe, to start that play. If he kicks it into the corner, you see Harris coming off the edge here, and he's going to get the tip.
Harris Jackson, the intended target, but as you see, the pass deflected.
Ottawa with a timeout still in this game. Could have stopped the clock, put it in the corner, make Dan Lefebvre start from inside his 20.
Now the book is anything with more than a minute 30 to go.
Yeah.
You would likely do that. Now the defense needs to make a play. Andy Fantuz has made one for the Ticats.
Now one more throw like that, and Hamilton's in at least field goal range, making it a 2-possession game. So, and that wasn't a short 2 yards. That was 2.5 yards.
It was a full 2 and a little bit.
Yeah.
First down play to Fantuz. It did stop the clock as Fantuz was knocked out of bounds at the Ottawa 42-yard line. And dragged down at the 35. So he's closing in on 100, and statistically, that would be quite a night for Dan Lefebvre.
That's been impressive. And again, to me, it came down to the drive with 7 minutes to go when he brought it out of the shadow of his goalpost, hit C.J. Gable. Now, Gable did the heavy lifting on the drive, but that was a defining moment for a young quarterback in his first start. Get out of the hole, make the play necessary. They score there, and Dan Lefebvre finished that drive with a quarterback sneak.
REDBLACKS have stopped the clock. Lefebvre one shy of 100. It's the top rushing game by a quarterback this year. The only player in NCAA history to pass for over 12,000 yards and rush for over 2,500, and he has shown you both talents tonight.
Well, you knew he was good at this. I mean, this is what he did last year. It's what he's done in relief this year. As a starter, they let him continue to do what he does well, as Matt Dunnigan talked about at halftime. Put him in his comfort zone, but he's made some nice throws as well. Executed the offense, looked composed.
Second and 3. Lefebvre once again, there's 100 yards. More importantly, the first down to keep the ball out of the hands of the Ottawa REDBLACKS. What a night, over 300 and over 100.
A first down, they keep the ball, new set of downs, in field goal range to make it 2-possession game.
And now the REDBLACKS have to try and strip that football away.
REDBLACKS have to try and strip the football here, go to tackle the football, even if it means missing a guy.
Double tight end formation again. It's Lefebvre. He'll be Brought down by the middle linebacker, Travis Brown.
They're not taking any chances. Ken Austin is making sure that it's not even an exchange handoff. Mark Nelson's got to ask his regular defense now to go out and try and strip the ball from 13. And what I mean by that is don't try and tackle him. Go after the football, try and rip it out of there. And I'm thinking in Ottawa, some will question the decision on 3rd and 2 and a bit with 2:40 to go.
He'll be stopped short. Field goal unit will come on as they get it to the middle of the field.
Now remember last week in Calgary, a botched field goal. Being a former holder, it's very difficult for Tasker right now to block that memory out and just execute this play.
Well, he was shattered last week for the bobble, has bounced back in a receiving role, and now will try and get this for Medlock down to make it a 2-score game. Executed well, and it is a 10-point lead for the Ticats, 55 seconds away from their first win of the year. While we have this opportunity, let's check in with the panel. Wonder what their thoughts are on Rick Campbell's interesting decision tonight, guys.
All right, thank you, Chris. Well, not the first time this week we have asked a question about a coaching decision earlier about Chris Jones as well. Matty, what do you think about Rick Campbell's decision?
Well, it's certainly a lot easier making a decision sitting in the studio as opposed to on the sidelines than Ron Joyce. But I thought it was a little early on the agreement with CC and Suits at the park there. But hindsight is 20/20. I love the aggressiveness.
Well, I think more than anything else, he saw how well Dan Lefevre was playing as a quarterback, and he wasn't 100% confident if he did not maintain the ball that he would have success getting the ball back.
We saw Henry Burris motion to his head coach immediately when 3rd down came up, saying, let's go for it. And I think that influenced him. And I think that's okay. Your quarterback wants to do it. With his veteran experience, you go for it.
Well, as Matty said, Chris, Glenn, a little easier from the studio, but good topic nonetheless.
Yeah, interesting. And Schultz's point about the play of Dan Lefevre, that that weighed into it, I'm sure, for Rick Campbell. He thought, we don't want to punt it away and give it to Dan Lefevre again and have them run those running plays. They're keeping possession of the football in the second half, and that maybe influenced them.
And to support that theory, the last time they had the ball, they were backed up inside their 15 and put a touchdown on the board. Underneath, the pass is incomplete on the 3rd down play, and a turnover on downs late. It will not be a victorious return to Hamilton for Henry Burris. I thought it was interesting listening to Ken Austin before the game. Here was the message he gave his team prior to tonight.
This is the start of the rest of our season. We're back home. It's time to get on a roll. All that we've ever asked you guys, man, you know this, all we've ever asked you is to just give us your best. That's it. Just give us your best every play. Play the next play. Don't worry about the past one. Don't worry about the 4th quarter, buddy. Let's just make plays. That's what this game comes down to.
He talked about jobs weren't on the line. He didn't make it about win or else.
No, it's about family. He brought them together. In fact, before he made that speech to his team, usually the guys are sitting in their stalls. He got them all to get up and get close and come in as a family union and said, it's the first game of a 15-game schedule. Let's get on a roll.
Man, they have finally come home after some frustrating close losses out west in Calgary and Edmonton, after opening the season in Saskatchewan in a lopsided loss.
And let's remind everybody, this is a team that hasn't really had a home field for 2 years.
Well, they got back to Hamilton, and they celebrate that, and Dan Lefevre will keep the football with the win, 33-23. The Ticats now 1-3. The REDBLACKS are 1-3 in the East as we send it back to Rod Smith.